Welcome back to The Inner Shift. I'm Paayal Lal, and this is where we uncover the stories of people who blend passion, purpose, and creativity to shape something truly meaningful. Today, my guest is someone who took her passion for skincare, for beauty, and transformed it into a bold entrepreneurial journey. After studying at Babson College, working in startups, and immersing herself in the world of Korean beauty in Seoul, she is now preparing to launch her own skincare brand, a vision that merges Korean innovation with Indian wisdom. So let's dive into her journey of courage, of curiosity, and creation. I bring to you today Meghna Singh.
Thank you so much for having me, and this introduction was everything I could dream of.
Thank you for making us the first of your podcasts, and I'm sure it's going to be a long journey because I've known you for a while and I've seen your passion and I know your brand is going to be amazing.
Thank you. That really means a lot because I've not even launched yet, so just waiting to see how it goes.
I remember I spoke to you about doing a podcast about 5 or 6 months ago,
Yes.
when in one of our sessions you had mentioned you were
Yes.
doing this. But see, that's when I knew.
Yes.
I knew this is going to be lovely.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start today with just doing a 30-second breathing exercise.
Okay, that would be
and
great.
I think all of us can join in. Let's just close our eyes for a second. Take a deep breath in through the nose and breathe out with an open mouth. Another deep breath in through the nose and out with an open mouth. And open your eyes.
That really helped. Yes. And that
I say
that
to
really
everyone, breathwork is the most important thing that you can use on your own anytime.
helped. Yes. Every time I'm alone and I get even slightly stressed out, 10 deep breaths, and then it's much better.
Good. So let's dive right into your journey. And let's start with what was the spark that inspired you into your beauty journey, into your skincare journey. So what was the first thing that sparked your passion for beauty and wellness?
So honestly, beauty for me was never about the products. It was more so self-expression. So as a young girl, I used to watch my mom do her makeup and use these creams, and I used to always wonder that I was very intrigued by the products she's using and stuff like that. But at the same time, my career path in this started when I quit my last startup. So I worked at 2 startups. So the first one was more coding, and I learned that during the startup very briefly. And then the second was more creative, and I worked with a makeup brand as well. So from there, I was like, this is so cool. Even at the same time where you're doing color cosmetics, I was working with the marketing team, so the social media aspect. I worked very closely with the founder as well. So that was an eye-opening journey where I was like, this is something I definitely want to get into. And from there, I started doing a lot of research and read a lot about Korean skincare and Indian ingredients, how everything works. And then one random day, I looked up trade shows in Seoul, South Korea, and I said, I have to be there. So I did a bunch of research, and then I started talking to my friend who I lived with at Babson College and said, I want to do this. Why don't you do it with me? So at that time, she was a bit iffy, and I said, okay. Then I met her in Hong Kong, actually. She's from there and currently in New York. So when there, we discussed it, and she said, you know what, let's do it together. So literally booked a flight, went to the trade show, and it was one of the most life-changing experiences, because I saw things at that trade show that I probably have never seen in my life within innovation and skincare and makeup. So I think, to answer your question, I made it a bit long, but at the same time, I think it started off since I was a young girl, and just looking at my parents, my mom doing all of this, I think that's where it stemmed from. But as a career path, within the past few years.
So can we say that the point where you decided that your passion could turn into a career was your second startup?
Yes.
When you worked with the skincare
Yes.
brand and you saw how it was,
Yes.
right? Do you think your time at Babson is what also shaped your entrepreneurial career or your entrepreneurial bent of mind?
Oh yes, 100%, because I actually major in entrepreneurship. Babson is #1 for entrepreneurship. And I took a bunch of classes. So at Babson you could take majors. There was no major and minor, it was more concentration based.
Oh, okay.
So you could literally I took white collar law, which was very interesting. I took like love literature class, because this professor was fabulous, so I had to do that. And I took him even in another semester because he was so good. So yes, in terms of, we even have a course called Foundations of Management, where you actually build a business. So this is your first semester, you build a business with your peers, and you have to sell it to people on campus.
Oh, nice.
So my first introduction to something of as basic as a tiny business was at Babson in my first semester.
It's so interesting what you kids can study today. I remember in our times it was commerce, humanities,
just
science, and that's it. You know, listening. I mean, when my kids went into IB, I actually wanted to study all over again because it's so interesting.
That's true.
You know, you're not just studying this is this. You're applying it, you're understanding it. We just mugged.
Exactly. So now I think it's so different. You're not like staring at a book and memorizing everything, but you're applying it to real life situations, which is so important. Even more so after college is what I felt.
I mean, you're telling me about this. I mean, my daughter also did a BCE, which is the Business of Creative Expression and Creative Enterprises.
Wow.
I mean, it just sounds so interesting. I wish I could go back and redo my entire college life.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm
you
sure
can always do it. Why not?
What all? I think I'm good. I'll just want to do it.
Fair enough.
Okay, let's move on. Now, you worked at 2 startups before launching this particular career path. What lessons from those experiences have still stayed with you?
So at my first startup, it was very system based. We always had to report to a higher team in terms of, it was funded by a company, and we always had to report and tell them and coordinate with them, because it was more with ticketing and like stuff like that. So I learned with that, systems was super important. If your back end is weak, I don't think I think the backbone of your business is your team at the same time.
Absolutely. Guys.
Is your team.
Yeah.
And we were like a subsection of the much larger team. So that was definitely one thing I learned. And from my second one, it was more so the creative angle. So it was 2 ends of the spectrum with both startups. I learned a lot in terms of dealing with people with my second one. The founder was amazing. She was a gem of a human being and was not very overbearing, but at the same time, she would get everything done as she wanted. So I learned that major leadership qualities. And I anyway feel like I am a decent leader. So in that sense, I was also head girl at Jamnabai.
Oh, nice.
So in IB. So I think using all of that, so creativity and just dealing with people all around you on a daily basis was a major learning aspect from there.
Both of them.
Yes.
And I think it's lovely that you've credited your mentors. I would say they were your first mentors, because I think it's very important to stay in touch with our first teachers, so to say. At what point do you think you said, okay, now I want to build my own?
So actually that's very interesting, because I took a while to just think about it for myself, where I was like, can I learn any more now? It was more so, I'm doing this, but it's getting slightly monotonous. I'm doing the same things. Yes, I'm in the social media team. I'm posting on Instagram. I'm helping with the graphics. I'm doing stuff like that. But at the same time, at some point I was like, okay, is there any room for growth? It was a team of 14 people in my second one.
Oh, wow.
Very small team. So it was more so, it was me doing all of this. We had a graphic designer. I was in the creative team. It was 3 of us in the start, then we hired someone else. And then it as I said, became very monotonous. We were doing the same thing. And then I thought to myself that I think I have learned a lot from here. I'm going to pick up all that I've learned and just make the decision of doing this myself. I had started working on it while I was working the job as well, but I thought I could not give my 100% to both tasks. So I thought, I think this is the better decision to just quit from here and then move to 100% of what I want to build.
So did you leave on good terms with your...
Yes, I did.
Because
that was
it's a kind of a competition, right? You're setting up a competition.
I mean, that was not so openly disclosed at the time, but it was more so I think I need to do stuff myself now, and we'll see where this goes. And if we're still in touch with, I'm still in touch with a lot of the team, so it's completely on good terms.
And I think that's also important, right? Because life is a circle. At some point or the other, it's a very small world. You will come in contact. That's why I say it's so important to be kind. It is so important to just be civil, if not anything else, with everyone.
I agree.
Right?
Now I think as we grow older, as all my friends, it was such a different phase in life when we were in school. Everyone was like, I think all of us have grown like 20 years ahead, even though we're not that much older. But at the same time, I think we've all matured so much. Even when I look at my circle of friends compared to school to now, most of them, not most, so most of my closest friends are married. So it's like a whole different, we're all in different phases of our lives. So it's like a whole thing, looking at each other, talking to each other about stuff like this. Someone's building a brand, someone's having a child, someone is married. So I think that's also so interesting to just sit and be a part of these conversations at all times.
Nice.
Because someone has something random to say every time.
So you still find time in all of this to just sit with your friends and decompress?
Yes, I think that's very important for me as well, to just sit, talk, get coffee, work out, or literally do a workout class. I work out with a friend 3 times a week, which is also really nice. But yeah, I think just sitting with my oldest school friends is something that really is very important to me, and I would want to do that even when I'm like 50 or 60.
Okay, don't randomly just throw out ages like that, okay?
Sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
I'm just kidding, don't worry. Okay, you obviously, in what you're doing, there's a lot of R&D involved, right?
Yes.
What were the challenges that you faced? Because today, I think India is in the midst of a complete, what is the word I'm looking for? There's a horde of Korean skincare coming in, right? There's a whole exodus which is coming in rather than going out. So what were the challenges that you faced in bringing yet another Korean product into India?
So when I went to my first trade show, it was Cosmo Beauty in Seoul. I noticed that a lot of people at the trade show were very warm, welcoming. They would talk to you. You would literally go there, they'd give you pamphlets. You'd see a lot of their products. But the second meeting was the problem. So when you sat down, my friend and I, we sat down, emailed every single person we met at the trade show. And we realized that we got responses from 6 people. We emailed over 70 to 80 people.
Oh, wow.
And we got responses from 6. The trade show was 2 days. We went both days, obviously. Sorry, it was 3 days, my bad. We went all 3 days. And we had agendas set for ourselves each day. First day, scan the place, see who we connect with, see what products we like. We also didn't want to get something over the top and crazy where someone's like, I don't think I'll ever use this, or copy paste of a Korean product. That's something I did not want to do. But sampling, also, after all of that, sampling was another problem. So we reached out to a bunch of manufacturers, and as I said, 6 or 7 replied, and the one I went with, they have been amazing. They have really worked very well with me and super cooperative. But in terms of R&D, it was more so you're first thinking, what product do you want to bring to the market, right? There are so many cleansers, there are so many sunscreens. Where do you stand out? Then I thought, why don't I do a product that's actually doesn't allow the consumer to think so much before purchasing. So a lip butter gloss, for example. As a consumer myself, I have probably 10 lip products I use in a week.
Just 10?
Just 10, exactly.
Please don't come to my house. Do not come to my house.
So exactly. So a lip product is a no-brainer, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
So sampling that was another task, and then the shipment from from Seoul to Mumbai takes a few days, and then having them change your formulation. I changed it. I can't even remember the number of times because as perfect as I wanted it to be, I don't know how perfect it will be. But sampling is a problem. Talking to manufacturers and getting a response from them is a hurdle you really do have to cross.
Why?
Firstly, language barrier as well. We have video calls, so that's a major thing. Secondly, not too many people are confident in the Indian market in terms of manufacturing and having it brought here, because a lot of...
They just white label it, or they just bring the product
Yes,
here.
so it's more so they slap on a brand. You have a formula already existing in Seoul or wherever, and they put on a brand and then send it to you. So I didn't want to do that. So that also is something where I've changed so many things, and just that's when I realized that, exactly as I said, I don't want to copy paste. You know, a bunch of brands are Korean and a bunch of brands are producing in Korea, but again didn't reveal it until very much later, you know. But you can see on the manufacturing, on the packaging, it says made in Korea. Why is it made in Korea? So that's another altogether whole different thing.
Did you enjoy this whole process? Are you still enjoying it?
I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying it, and I think I'll keep enjoying it until I don't know how long.
We shall see. We shall see.
Yes.
We shall see. But I feel it's going to be a long journey.
Yes, I'm very excited about that as well, because exactly, I'm in the pre-launch phase, I think, right now. So it's more so having everything, it's a stepping stone, right? And it's just the pre-launch. Then the actual launch is something what I'm most excited about. And we'll see how it goes. That's literally like all I can say right now in terms of...
We don't want you revealing too much.
Yes.
Now, most of us dream of going to our... the epicenters of our industry, or the epicenter of where we get the inspiration from. And you have literally immersed yourself into your, what should I say, the holy grail of beauty, which is Seoul, right? What were the technologies or philosophies of the stuff that you saw over there that really inspired you?
So, Seoul is literally the heartbeat of skincare, is how I think of it. And obviously, even Indian culture and ingredients are great, but at the same time, Seoul's technology is far more ahead than we are. Manufacturing, innovation, everything. And I realized that things that are not made here, the manufacturing here is not the best. And in Seoul, they are innovating products literally as we speak. Every minute, every hour, there's a new product that you can use and would probably change your skin.
I was looking at the other day, they have now that mask with micro currents.
Yeah, the microcurrents.
Yeah,
yes.
That's the latest one.
Exactly.
It's like microcurrents in a disposable face mask.
No,
that's crazy.
If you go there, you'll just be like, I want this, I want this, I want to bring everything. I had a suitcase full of Olive Young products when I came back, firstly for all my friends, and samplers, you know, just to try stuff. But Seoul, literally, when I went to the trade show as well, again, as I said, technology, crazy things, machines. They had stuff like, I mean, strangely enough, they had like a very weird, gigantic slimming machine where you would sit in it for X number of hours. And I don't know what would happen after that, but they explained it to me like that. So it was, no, you don't need it. But yeah, so they had that. They had, one thing that I was really inspired by was Korean glass skin. But at the same time, one thing I didn't really like, they promote a 10-step routine a lot, which I am the opposite of that.
Yeah.
I love minimal basic skincare. I personally just use 3 products in my daily routine.
Please.
Literally cleanser, moisturizer and a sunscreen. That's all. And I think that's as basic as it gets. But I know there are certain products like hyaluronic acid or niacinamide that a person might need. So that's, again, each to his own. But I feel layering 10 products, the 10-step skincare routine is something I strayed away from. But I know you can achieve that even with a fewer number of products. So they had like, I can't even begin to tell you how many things I saw where I said, they have PDRN, which is like salmon sperm. When a lot of people are putting it on their face, people are injecting it into their bodies.
What is your take on that? I want to know.
Injecting, I'm very scared of needles anyway.
You're still young. You don't need it. Ask us.
Yeah, but so many people are doing it. It's also become so normalized now, which is also a great thing that it's become normalized. But in terms of salmon sperm, I think if it works for you, great. You know, why not?
But I think that's about all skincare, right? It's what suits you. At the end of the day, there can be a million things that go viral, but it depends on how your skin reacts to it, right?
Yeah. But also, like, so many, because there's so much information out on social media, YouTube, like everything, people are thinking like 20 times before purchasing one basic product. They're thinking, they're researching for like 5 to 10 hours to buy one sunscreen. One person is telling you not to buy. Yeah,
guilty. So I just bought 5 different tinted sunscreens when in my last trip to Dubai.
Wow. Why did you do that?
So I'll tell you why. Because there is one which I can use in Bombay because
climate, heat.
There's a different one which works for me when I'm in drier places like Delhi. There's a different one that works for me when I'm in a place like Dubai, and there's a different one which works for me when I'm in Europe. Europe, you enter and your skin just starts glowing because there's no pollution.
I was gonna say.
Right. So I think my skincare depends on which country or city I am in, right?
That's totally fair.
I actually bought, and I swear, and I'm guilty of this, I bought 5 sunscreens.
But you know what? I also think you cannot have too many sunscreens or too many lip butters. These are the 2 products. But yes, I mean...
That's why I love her.
Researching about it is so important as well, you know? Like... Yes, with the cleanser, I think you definitely need to think before buying it because it could be for oily skin, dry skin, you need a hydrating one. I change cleansers very often and my dermatologist is, again, amazing. I love her. So she's really helped me with my skincare routine as well, and I learned a lot from her at the same time and recommended a bunch of like pimple creams or like acne creams or spot creams. Learned from her, and a bunch of my friends asked me, tell me what I should use for this. Very normal, randomly wake up to a text, what sunscreen should I buy now? You know, it's like, it's literally like that now, so.
Nice. One thing that you learned, which was an eye-opening discovery in Seoul?
As I said, the technology was definitely number one. All the products, so for example, if we had pH changing lip tint. I think that was one lip product that I really liked, which I'm bringing to India as well, which was, it takes the color of your lips, you know, so you apply it, it's like a light pink tint and takes the color of your lips. So that was one product that was very cool as well. A lot of people are doing that as well now.
I was just going to say that. I know of someone who did bring it in.
Yes, a lot of people are doing that, but I wanted to focus, as I said, on lip products specifically. Just to start with, as I said, no brainer, you don't think so much, but one innovation would be, I'm just thinking, I was like, there too many things at the same time.
That's fine. That's fine. I will not trouble you. Let's just leave it, because I know. I mean, I feel the same way. You know, when I go to a wellness festival or I look at a wellness festival, and with just the kind of technology and the machines they come up with, it's mind blowing. And if someone had to ask me that question, that what is the one thing, even I wouldn't be.
One thing is a bit tough.
It's tough. It's tough. It's just
there were a bunch.
But it's a lovely time that we are in. You know, where there is the innovations today are amazing. Whether it is in the beauty industry, in the wellness industry, the longevity that we're looking at, it's amazing. So it's a great time to see all of this.
Yes.
You know, I mean, of course, we have the other time also, which we shall not discuss about.
No, not at all.
But yeah. So, okay, coming back to your philosophy, how do you envision in bridging the gap between Korean technology techniques and Indian wisdom or Indian skins?
So, Korean technology is very different, but I'm trying to adapt it and mix it with Indian ingredients such as haldi, ghee, neem, like sandalwood, all of this. So once you mix both, it's pretty much the best of both worlds in skincare. You get a product which will probably work for a lot of skin types, especially Indian skin. That's my main focus for bringing ingredients from both parts of the world to our consumers. That's pretty much my philosophy behind this brand as well. And I want to...
Is that the mindset behind the brand?
Yes, it's literally the mindset behind the brand, even very directly related to wellness, because your mind is the most powerful thing, right? Everything stems from your brain.
And she speaks my language.
Yeah. You tell your brain, I cannot do this, you will not be able to do this. And that's something I have lived by for the past several years. I think your mindset shapes everything. You need to have a positive mind, and even in my daily routine, I wake up. First thing, I do not check my phone for like 30 to 45 minutes. Then I journal.
She's a rarity, please.
So,
she's not an alien. She's very much human. We shall touch her and see. She doesn't take her call for 30 to 40 minutes.
I really make a conscious effort to not do that, because as soon as I check my phone, I think I'm in that zone. You know, I'm like sitting, I'm scrolling. I don't want to do that, and that's why then I'll journal, and then hot water lemon is my start of the day. So with that's why I said like your mindset is so important with everything, your day-to-day activities, work, and I try to really ground myself right even before any task, because I have a habit of overthinking. I tend to think a lot before I go ahead with a task, but at the same time, that's why even basic decisions like packaging, you know, for my brand, color choices, font choices, what goes on the box was a huge thing. I thought about 10 times, but then at the same time I realized patience and clarity matters way more than speed.
Absolutely.
So that was
we did a read also on that, right? On some of the decisions that you made.
Exactly.
I remember. Well, now that since you've touched on the topic of wellness, let's first go ahead with that. I have always said that outer beauty begins with inner beauty.
Yes,
right.
Definitely.
And there is definitely a direct relationship between beauty and wellness, right? We can use all the expensive products. You can get all your DNA facials, your Hollywood facials, and whatever. But unless your mind is calm, because your gut and your mind are related, if you have overthinking, you will get your breakouts, right? So you have to calm your mind down. And you're someone I know who is into wellness, who is into spirituality. We've attended a lot of sessions, as you've attended a lot of my sessions. What would your message be or your mindset be for your consumer when you're giving out your product or launching your product?
So firstly, definitely calmness, stillness. I want you to feel my product fits into your everyday life. I don't want it to be a product where you're thinking so much about should I use it, should I not, because nowadays, as I said, people are researching a lot about it, which is great, but at the same time I want you to feel like this belongs in your life effortlessly. I don't want it to be something where you're constantly navigating life, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, but that's the whole story, right? Where I want someone whose mindset is also positive. You try to make it positive at the same time, because if you go to a dermatologist, the first question they're going to ask you is, did you eat well? Are you sleeping well? Stress, as you said, everything starts from within. You're stressed out. If there's any problem in your life, it shows on your face, it shows on your body. It's all very visible.
Yeah,
I personally, I'm a little stressed, one pimple. You know, it's like my body's telling me, drink water, please sleep well.
Yeah, we have that bottle around here somewhere. You want to show? No, you should show everyone. I love that. Yeah. I love that. Please show her bottle, which she's carried on her shoot as well, and that's the secret behind her
hydration. Yeah, hydration is so important as well. So I think.
So yes, please drink up. And no bottle is big enough.
Honestly, no bottle is big enough. I have friends who roam around with like their Stanley cups as well. And of course, that was a whole other craze in itself. But I never bought one. So I didn't succumb to this trend. You did.
I did, but I've never used it. It's just lying in my kitchen.
Okay, so you technically didn't do
I have a Labubu too, which I never used.
I honestly disliked that trend. To be very frank and honest, that's one trend I have never given into and I absolutely did not like. But yeah, I guess each to his own.
Okay, moving on. Without giving out too much, what is the heart behind your brand vision? You've spoken a lot about the Korean technology, you've spoken a lot about Indian wisdom, but what is the heart of your brand vision?
So it's more so high performing skincare, which is globally relevant. That's one thing
Love
that
it.
is, I'm really trying to put out in the world. And it starts with India, and then we'll see which other cities, countries I can move to. But
You're moving upwards towards this way, so that's what I'm getting while I speak to you. So
Or
I
where
think
is that?
Europe is what is coming.
Europe?
So Europe and maybe even the Russia. Yeah, it's.
I was thinking
Europe.
even Middle East.
Yeah,
At some,
Middle East
yeah.
is a natural. Middle
Yeah,
East
that-
is India. Middle
yeah,
East
that-
is India.
that is true.
So that is the direction that I'm getting. So please look up on the map.
I
Sorry.
will.
That's the direction.
That's
I've
very
got.
good to know. Very good.
What kind of modern consumer are you now targeting? Because today, as you said, everybody wants to know, everybody's informed, even at every level, people are researching. So what is your target consumer?
I would like to say, I don't want to use the term everybody, but at the same time, a modern, self-aware, who uses beauty and products as a way of expressing themselves, not just who thinks so much about the product, more so how it makes them feel, how they're applying it, and are they seeing a difference in the product. A working, non-working also, a homemaker, literally anyone who people who are surrounded by me at the same time. And yeah, I think the self-aware consumer and people who like trying the best of both worlds within
Safer
one
answer.
product.
Safer
Yes.
answer.
Yes.
Safer answer. Okay, at the inner shift, we always ask someone, what was that deep personal turning point where you felt this is it? We all have a journey, but we always have that turning point where we know this is what we want to do. It's different from the spark. It's a very deeply personal thing. Where you're talking about wellness, you're talking about connecting wellness with your products eventually. That's the conversation
Yes.
we were having behind the scenes. So what do you think was your personal turning point?
So my family actually had the franchise of a Thai restaurant called Mango Tree. We still have the franchise, but during the time we don't want to
Talk about again.
we closed it. And I think literally that was the time where I realized I was so involved with building that, where I was like, I cannot not do something myself. I need to do something which I am more invested in. And it was a tough time for me, where I was like, I loved the Thai restaurant, and it was like a little baby even for my father, but he was like, you know what, on to the next thing. But for me it was more so, I want to do something myself completely. I don't want help from you guys. I said that to my parents. I said, I need to build this myself. And that shutting and the transition was more so the time where I realized that building something of my own would make me firstly grow into a completely different individual, which actually happened along the way. All the time. I think we all are constantly growing, and that was a key time in my life where I wanted to just, firstly, obviously I reflected on everything, and I was like, I was really upset about closing down that restaurant because the whole building was a whole mess. It was a whole different situation. But at that time, that was the key turning point where I was like, this is the time I want to do this for sure.
Great, wonderful. Before I take you through the rapid fire round, something very deeply personal, which is part of the inner shift, a message to women around you, women who are wanting to step into the entrepreneurial region, into the whole, I would say, creation. What is your message to the women out there? What would you tell them about your own journey? What would you tell them for their journey? Women for women empowerment.
So I love women supporting women. In today's world, there are a lot of women who actually try and bring you down, but at the same time, there are women who will support you no matter what. And I'm so grateful that I have a bunch of people, family and friends, who do that for me. But one major thing I would want to say is beauty is one of the most accessible forms of wellness. I truly believe that. And if you are inclined with skincare, beauty, wellness, a lot of women in today's world are very self-aware, conscious at the same time. I would say you please do what you want. Don't really think so much, coming from personal experiences, from someone who thinks a lot at the same time. But please do what you want, go for it, don't think so much. At the same time, do think. I know I'm contradicting myself in that way,
it makes sense. It makes sense. It makes sense.
It's more so pay attention to what your heart, soul wants and go for it.
Lovely. And the last but not the least, mental health awareness. How important do you think is that, and how relevant is it in today's world?
I'm actually so glad people now are talking more openly than they were, at least in India, about mental health. But at the same time, I feel awareness needs to go beyond just talking. A lot of people find it difficult to open up just to talking to someone, or even therapy. I think therapy, everyone should go to therapy. Not even just, earlier people used to look down upon it, and it used to be like, oh, no one used to discuss therapy or talk about just venting to someone. At the same time, whether it may be a family member or actual licensed therapist. But even personally, I feel right now, just talking about two genders, male and female, women open up much more easily than men do. Even in my life, I have realized with my friends, my guy friends find it way tougher to talk to you about anything which comes on a deeper level, whereas women takes you 2 seconds to talk about how you're feeling. So I think mental health as a whole needs to really go 10 steps further than just talking about it, because a lot of people advocate for it, which is a great thing, but at the same time, people are just talking. I don't know how much people are
actually practicing,
taking action on it, or even, because you need to have someone, even if not 10 people, you need one person in your corner to just talk to them. Whether it be like the ups, the downs, whatever it may be, you need to get things out, or journal. That's a great thing to...
It's a first start. It's a first step.
Exactly, that's the first step. And then you can, I think talking to someone is super, super important. And just releasing what you feel at the same time, and just knowing that, hey, I do have someone who I can talk to, and not just someone who is just going to listen to you and just say, you know what, forget it, like, you're fine. I think that's super important to just know that people are always there as well, and you just need to vent and talk to the person and not think so much about it.
I'm so glad you said that, because and especially this point you made about the difference between men and women. I've just launched a mental health awareness campaign for men, because traditionally men are seen as the strong ones,
the provider.
The providers, and men don't cry, boys don't cry. We've all grown up with that, and so for them it's much more difficult to open up. But so they have their own set of issues, and that is why I feel for men it is even more important to reach out, because to a professional or to someone. As you said, reach out to someone, talk to someone.
Literally.
Why a professional helps is because it's a third party, unbiased opinion that you get. But yes, as I always say in each and every one of my episodes, please, please, please reach out, be it anyone, reach out anytime that you need to even process something. It doesn't mean that you're going through, you don't
have to be going through a life-changing...
Just to process what you're going through.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Okay, so now on this note, we're going to move into the rapid fire.
Okay, I don't know how rapid and fire this will be, but
That's
we can
fine,
see.
I'm just pulling your leg. Okay, first skincare product you ever loved?
Ooh, literally, it was a lip gloss.
Now we know why she's launching with lip products.
Yes.
Seoul or Mumbai for inspiration?
Seoul for inspiration, Mumbai for implementation.
Nice, nice. Entrepreneurial motto in one line?
Practice what you preach.
I like that. Morning or evening skincare ritual, what's non-negotiable?
Sunscreen in the morning.
Absolutely. Right answer. Sahi jawab. If your brand had a spirit animal, what would it be?
Golden retriever.
Oh, okay then. So was that bad?
Not at all. Oh, we're done?
We were done. Short but sweet.
Yes.
And she got really good answers, and I love the golden retriever. Okay. I'm definitely buying her products.
Yes. All of you have to.
Everyone has to, absolutely. But thank you so much for giving us the opportunity of being the first one you're talking about your brand, about your vision, about what you're bringing here. I feel what is setting her apart and what sets her apart from everyone else is that she's making the effort of making the changes, of innovating. She's not just copy pasting, she is
Keywords.
using the definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very important, and kudos for you at such a young
Thank you
age
so much.
to have achieved so much already, for the learnings that you have, for carrying them with you, and for reaching out.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a great first podcast.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Meghna, and thank you for being part of the initiative.
Thank you.